What an incredible experience that Breakthrough Camp 2021 was. Not being there last year, it wasn't a loss. It was simply God just pulling it back like a slingshot, ready to just like give us the most incredible camp we've ever experienced. And so truly, and we have these phenomenal students with us right now to join us on stage, representing our incredible youth. And I'm gonna kind of give you their names really quick down the line. We've got Jordan Canby down here, Adrian Russ Taylor, Caitlin Hadley, Juliana Brostrom, and Kara Wills. How are you guys feeling? You guys good? Good, all right, awesome. We're excited. Now, we're gonna just kind of open this up. Like I was talking to the gang earlier this morning, and this is really, we wanna make it a conversation. We wanna make it one of those things where it's just having a good talk, almost kind of like when we had our fire talks and whatnot at camp, and kind of let you guys in on that a little bit. And so, kind of to open it up, you guys, let's kind of get an idea here. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about your cabin and what that experience was like? Who wants to open up here? Go ahead, Kara. Emily, you want to share your mic there?
Okay, so we were cabin 15, one of the high school girls' cabin.
The best one?
And it was great. Like everybody in our cabin was so fun, so lively. Shout out to Jayla. I don't know if she's here. Woo! But yeah, it was great.
Awesome.
Oh, can I jump on that real quick? Because I had the pleasure of being in her cabin as well. Emmy and I were both their cabin leaders, and it was just an incredible experience. We had tons of girls in there that were like, some of them were brand new, some of them were veterans, all kinds of different personalities that thankfully all blended well, so that was good. But I just wanted to say the last night, the best experience for, at least for me personally, for our cabin was the last night after service. Usually every night we'll have a little campfire chat with our cabin to talk about the service and, you know, kind of like share a little bit. But the last night, it's like a pizza party and a little basketball game. Like we don't have any cabin afterthought things planned for that night. But after that service, we were all just feeling just something so heavy on our hearts in a good way. And we all agreed, you know what, let's just like put a pause on the pizza party for now. And we all ended up meeting backstage in like a little green room and just being vulnerable and just sharing our hearts and crying and laughing and praying over each other, encouraging each other. And it was truly such a beautiful moment. I don't care how good the pizza was, that was so worth it. I have no regrets. So yeah, that was definitely like the best experience for me,
Papa
at least.
John's,
for a cabin.
you're good.
Oh, okay, good.
What else we got, guys? There we go.
You know, cabin 5, you know, I got y'all, I love y'all. It was just so good because we created such a good brotherhood with each other, and we could always just talk to each other about no matter what. And I know like I could always come back to all 5 of them and just know I could talk to them about anything. I just feel so comfortable talking about with them with literally anything, and they're my boys and I love y'all.
It's a good cabin.
So I was cabin 13 and 14. There was 18 of us. Yeah. So like, I was the oldest. It was a lot of underclassmen, freshman girls, but I saw myself in a lot of them. Like they acted just like I did freshman year, crazy. But they're all so sweet. But the best part was that, so most of it was our small group. You know, we get together every other Wednesday or every other Sunday. And then there was a few that weren't really part of our small group, but they just blended in right in. Like they fit in, you know, all the girls were like, oh my God, I love you so much. Like all accepting of them. We got super close really fast. So I feel like a word to describe my cabin was like accepting, just super open.
So good. That's really good.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about your cabin, Adrian.
My cabin was cabin 4, and I mean, I'd like to say they were all just like genuine people, cool people to hang around. They're very funny during bedtime. It was a lot of good.
There's nothing funny about bedtime. All of the cabins. Go ahead, Adrian. I'll share after you share.
It was a lot of good laughs though, but they're just fun people to be around. It's basically they're just genuine, and I mean, if you like meet them, it's just you take it or leave it. They just are who they are, and it's just.
Beautiful. And that was beautiful, Adrian, but I'd like to vent a little bit about bedtime. You know, I was in Jordan's cabin, and I was like, yeah, you know, it'll be fine. You know, they're high schoolers. They understand the importance of sleep. The middle schoolers, they'll stay up all night making noises, having dinosaur alarms at 5 a.m. And but the high school boys were fine. But countless times I found them just talking to each other, and even one of these like, I love you, Jordan. Love you, Andrew. Good night, Braden. Good night, Zandon. Good night, Mario. Good night, good night. We're all going, good night, everyone. Good night. But we had a great time, and we did go to sleep. Along with sleep being an activity, there are a lot of activities that we had at camp, so many great activities at that. And so we want to share with you guys a little bit about some of the activities that we really enjoyed. So guys, why don't we share some of our favorite activities from camp? You want to go first, Adrian? I know what your activity is. We know everyone knows what Adrian's activity was.
Everyone knows.
Adrian, why don't you really just give us some passion behind this next statement?
Well, my favorite activity there was by far Gaga Ball, but I also... But, I mean, this year those kids were just built different. But it was still fun, though. But I also loved the water zip line. It was really fun. I mean, probably my favorite part was just like slamming into the water at the end.
Yeah.
But it's just a fun experience. And the water slide, I like getting just launched off of like the curved. There was like a curved one. Just get launched into the air.
I like the description.
Yeah.
Adrian, it's fantastic.
Yeah, like you go so fast, you just start to feel the friction, and then you just launch off the slide.
All right, take it easy, Adrian. We're still at church this morning. No, but I kid you not. Adrian was a monster in the Gaga pit. I would walk by, and I'd see Adrian like just everywhere, just going for the middle schoolers, targeting people.
Wrong.
And it was awful. It was awful, and I tried to pray with Adrian afterwards, and he just wouldn't receive prayer. No, I'm just kidding. But he was killing it in the Gaga pit. But we had so many other activities. What you guys got?
Before I share my activity, I will say Adrian did beat me in Gaga Ball. It kind of made me mad. He's a beast out there. So congrats to you. But my favorite, so I would say that last week, I was like camp braider. Like, so Mario goes,
We got some pictures.
Yeah, we got pictures.
We should have some pictures.
I got this luscious hair. Can you braid my hair? Can you braid my hair? And I was like, okay, like, sure, I guess.
I don't know if it was like that.
Oh, it was like that. It was like that.
But
begging on his knees, like, I need my hair braided.
There's a little bit of a stretch here, guys.
Anyways, so, I get Mario's hair braided, and then all these, like, middle school boys are like, well, I have this hair, like, can, you braid mine? And I was like, well, I mean, I guess so. I'm just so good at it, might as well, so I had about, like, 6 or 7 people every day braiding. Like, they're like, can you braid my hair like Mario's? Can you braid? And I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, I love it. It's favorite. Like, I used to not be good at braiding, so, it was kind of like an ego booster. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll braid your hair any day.
And I kid you not, you might as well have called me Mario Iverson out there, because it was just wonderful. And weren't we trying to go for like one big braid, like a Viking?
It was like one Viking braid, but then I was like, you know what, Mario, like, if you want to be good at basketball, you got to do like all of the braids. So I did like 5, just like continuous braids, and then put in a little bun.
And I was great. It actually worked. It was pretty impactful in my life.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. What other activities we got?
Tribal Wars. Okay,
Yeah.
the bus ride. I want to talk about that.
Which tribe won, by the way?
Okay, Hercules won, but they cheated a lot. Okay, exactly, they cheated.
Hey, we're in church. No, we left that in camp.
No.
It's fine. It's over.
The battle continues.
Can you see? Sleep, tribal wars. God was with us.
But I remember we did was it the stair stepper, I think?
Stair stepper was
The high
insane.
school girls, and we killed it on that. So,
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
But so I'm just gonna say we won, even they say.
I like it. It's good. It's good. And then Jordan, why don't you tell us about an activity for you, man? I'm just curious.
My favorite was definitely pick up basketball. Like, I probably played so much basketball, like my arms were hurting the day I left. Like, I was in pain. It hurt. But I remember like the last night, like me and like 10 other people, we stayed up the entire night, and we're all like, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, right? We're all tired. And I turn around, I hear a basketball, and I'm like, who is playing basketball at 5 o'clock in the morning? And that man, Xavier, he's a machine. He is a machine.
Yeah.
And I was just like, he has a lot of heart. I'm proud of him.
Yeah. That boy, he's gonna be an 8th grader, right? But he's like 6 something. The guy's a giant. Speaking of which, we had every year we do this traditional basketball game, WV versus DC, and we have yet to win. I'm glad that you're laughing at my pain because that means a lot to me. But I promise you, we love DC. Shout out to DC, Citizen Heights. They join us every year. But they already know what's coming because we had 2 juniors, 2 sophomores, myself, and 2 8th graders, and we played to 21, and we only lost by 2 points. Yeah, it was win by 2, we lost by 2 points. I'm just saying, next year, Xavier's gonna be 7 foot, and it's just gonna be another animal. So I just thought I'd share that. Emily, we had a lot of fun at camp, and a lot of just fun moments, but there's also some incredible God moments as well, Emmy.
Absolutely. We were seeing it all over throughout all of our students, but why don't you share with us something that God spoke specifically to you this year at Breakthrough Camp?
I know I have one personally. I was talking to Emmy about this backstage. The last night of worship, and this is something, not that God specifically spoke to me directly, but more of like, just like a presence I felt and kind of like a promise in a way that's kind of continuing. I want to like tell you about that. So the last night of camp, we sang the song Too Good to Believe It, I think it's called.
Too Good to Not Believe.
Too Good to Not Believe, excuse me. Yeah, that was almost changed the whole message. Too Good to Not Believe, that's the key. But in the bridge, it says, don't you tell me he can't do it. And I almost didn't talk about it today because I was like, well, I don't know if everyone's gonna know the song, so it might not have the meaning. And then Nikki randomly went into that song today, and I was like, okay, God, all right, cool. And that wasn't even rehearsed. That was just completely spontaneous. So I thought that was really cool. But that night, you had everyone, all the students, all the leaders, everyone repeat, don't you tell me he can't do it. And to the point of yelling, we were like, don't you tell me he can't do it. We just repeated it over and over. I was in tears. Like, I was like, don't you tell me he can't. Like, I was just gone. But it was just so beautiful and such a powerful moment. And I saw that in so many different aspects of my life, certain things that I'm dealing with or people that I love that are going through certain things. Just that promise from God, don't you tell me he won't provide. Don't you tell me he won't heal that person. Don't you tell me he won't bring that person home. That was such a cool moment. And it's just to see that promise continuing today and, going forward, it's just so cool to see that God is not just moving at camp. God's just moving, period. And it may have started at camp, but that's just the beginning. So
yeah, absolutely. And Juliana, I want to, give it up for Juliana because I want to give her a little bit of credit because that last service, Juliana just had this urgency to gather our cabin and gather our girls and just have that, that one last talk, that one last, gathering of girls like, hey, let's press in, let's do this together. And we had such a beautiful moment with our cabin girls. They finally, they felt freedom. They broke free from so many things, and it was like such a family moment in that room, Juliana. And I really felt the Holy Spirit just speaking to every single one of our girls. And I love that when we choose cabins, that's not us choosing them. That's totally a God thing. And our cabin related in so many ways, and it was such a God thing, and we totally felt that. And it was just so beautiful to see our girls praying for their other cabin, other girls in their cabin, and it was such a beautiful moment. We really saw the Holy Spirit working through every single girl, and it was so cool to see. It was so good.
So I'll share my story a little bit. 2 weeks before camp, I was on a camping trip. I didn't have my phone or anything. It was the best time, second best time. Breakthrough's a little bit better. But it was with my college, and we were on a camping trip, and it was just an amazing time. And I actually got to share, my relationship with God, with my leaders and everything there. It wasn't religious affiliated at all, but, I still spoke about God. So I came home that night. When I got home, I was really, really tired. Week long in a tent, you're not getting much sleep. So I went home that night after a week and went to bed straight, like just didn't, whatever. I woke up the next morning and I was like, I had notifications on my phone, which like isn't abnormal, like whatever. But I was scrolling through and I learned that my friend passed away that morning from cancer. So, I was trying to hold it together. I was like, camp's next week, but why? Like, what did I do to deserve that? So, the funeral was the week right before camp. It was Friday, we leave Sunday. And, I wanted to hold it together for my friends. I wanted to be that supportive friend. So I went and I sat in my car, before it started. And I was really calling out. I was like, God, I played this song that we played in church one time. It's called Are You With Me? I'm really calling out. I'm like, God, what did I do? I go to church 2 to 3 times a week. I'm going to camp for you. I go every year. I'm becoming a leader. I'm speaking to these girls. I want to be there for them. But, why, what are you doing for me? Which, it hurt. It was bad. And it's unfair, but Pastor Joey from Citizen, he spoke a message on the second night, and he's titled it "Who Told You That?" And it was about the beginning of the message was about the enemy's game plan, and he said that the devil is a manipulator, he's a liar, he's trying to bring you shame, he's distorting the truth. And then the second part of the message is what is God doing to respond to that? And it was about him giving like Adam and Eve everything they needed, him pursuing them, him loving you, him covering you. And he said he doesn't force love, he allows you to love him. And I was like, wow, that really went to the cabin afterthought. And I was like, I was over here just last week calling, God, where are you? Why can I not feel your love? But it's actually, Joey said, you're choosing to love him. It's not, he chooses to love you, but, in that moment, I wasn't choosing God. I wasn't, allowing myself to love him because I was just so fueled with hatred. I was like, I wasn't hating God. I was hating the devil, and I just didn't realize that. I didn't realize, but Joey just said, devil's distorting the truth. This is what he's making you feel like. He doesn't want you to go to camp. He doesn't want you to experience the love that camp brings you. Yeah. And he referenced John 10:7-10, which is basically just God opening the door for the sheep. God saying that, I am the way, the truth, the life, anything else is the devil. And I've never really felt that before until this week. So that's kind of cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We've got one more question for you guys as we wrap this up and come to a close, and it's a question that I feel like it's just can speak volumes to what the response may be, and it's just, what is one thing you were challenged to do differently after your 2021 breakthrough experience?
Okay, so I remember the message you spoke like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, about like chains and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I remember, like you said at the end of the message, you were like, don't allow, or no, what did you say? It was something about like raising your hand, like you don't want to allow, like I don't want to raise my hand today, like people are watching me, like that. Yeah. And so I was at camp. You were like, you guys were saying like, what'd you say? To be expectant of something. Yeah. And like I was expecting that I was going to be able to like raise my hand and just be free to worship. Yeah. And I just remember like the first night you were like, when we were in worship, you were like, you just wanted to remind everyone that it's a safe space, and to like break out of like your shell and don't be timid in worship, like just be free and be open. And I remember the whole time I was, so that was really good, and that's something I'll definitely take away from it. So
that's awesome, Kara. Awesome. That's a reminder for all of us adults as well. Let's never be too cool or too busy or too unaware to just allow ourselves to honestly just worship God and worship freely and openly. Great example.
Well, breakthrough camp. I mean, one thing I want to take away from that is just like the energy that I had there, and me just, I guess, just being myself. I just want to take that everywhere. I mean, like, I'm not like fake outside of it, but before breakthrough, I was just like, kind of just, I mean, I guess you could say an introvert hidden inside of an extrovert's body. I want to talk to people. I enjoy people, but it's just, I mean, before I was just nervous. I had a lot of social anxiety, and I just prayed to God before I went to camp that I could just have a breakthrough and just let it out and have fun. And I went there, and I did, and I met a lot of amazing people and had a great time. And probably the last worship, probably the first worship where I actually like shed tears, and I just let it out, and I didn't care who was to my right or to my left. I just did my own thing, and I just enjoyed God's presence. And
good, man.
I'm sure there's like a lot of people in this room that are amazing people, but that fear and anxiety is like covering you, and you gotta let God work through you and let you break out of that, so you can enjoy His amazing plans He has for you, and inspire other people, and who knows what He could do with you. So
it's good, Adrian. It's good stuff, baby. Beautiful, beautiful. And Jordan, just to kind of, wrap this up, why don't, and this will be the last response, but, what about, how would you answer that question for yourself, brother?
I would personally, I remember like the second night, I remember Christian, he was just like, ask God, what can you do to change? Like, what can you do to change? And I felt that on my heart, and I was like, what can I do to change, God? Like, what can I do to be a better Christian? And I look at like the younger kids, like the middle schoolers, and I just want to be a good influence to all of them, because I know like those little kids, they look up to me, and I can see that, like, whether it's Jake or Kai or Bradley, it's just, it really makes you want to be the best possible person you could ever be, and just let those little kids look up to you and be like, I want to be like you someday, because like the way you speak to other people, and just like the way you're so positive around everybody, I mean, that means a lot to me. And even when those little kids just look up to me and like, I love you, Jordan, I love you. And that means a lot. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. You guys, can we please just make some noise for these incredible students? Come on.